What's up, Bucs Report? What's up, Bucs Report? Bucs Report.
Go Bucs, go Bucs. Go Bucs, go Bucs. Go Bucs, go Bucs. Go Bucs, go Bucs. First and goal, gotta tough it out. Get in the end zone and call a hot route. O-line to beat, Mike down the street. And have Humphreys run right underneath. You know it's Bucs ball, we got the hardest D. Bring the pressure to the QB. You know it's routine, we got hard grease. Welcome to Tampa, welcome to Turbo. Go Bucs, go Bucs. Reppin' for my team. Go Bucs, go Bucs. You know we want the ring. Go Bucs, go Bucs. Welcome to the Bay. Go Bucs, go Bucs. Tune in with Buccaneer Blake. Bucs back, we can run and talk. Mike Evans looking like Randy Moss. And Jameis make a play after play. On the defense, you can't stop Levante. On my boy McCoy, who you can't avoid. At the Raymond James, you about to feel the pain. You a Bucs fan, make a lot of noise. If you a Bucs fan, make a lot of noise. Go Bucs.
I know we can go hard. Tampa squad, the team is so raw. Look out for corner if you running the ball. Jerry McCoy, shit for your paw. We go hard, go Bucs. That's my squad, go Bucs. That's my team.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to BUCsReport.com with your host, Mr. Buccaneer Blake himself, coming at you with another live edition with BUC-N-BLAKE Sports. As usual, we'll go through the preliminaries, as you know, as always goes my show. You're here with the one and only. Let us know where you're from, what section you sit in, things of like that. Before somebody says something smart like Tony, yes, I have an NFL shirt on, and yes, I have my Hornets hat on because they are playing today, and I'm showing my support for my Charlotte Hornets. Before one of y'all say something. So with that being said, let us know where you sit in, what state you're repping. Like Tony's in Washington, D.C. area, and you know, I'm in Dunedin, Florida, and there's a lot of people all over Fort Lauderdale and things like that. I'm in 147 is a section I sit in and things like that. So go ahead and post in there. I will get to everybody's comments and things like that. So don't think I'm ignoring you. I will scroll through periodically. So if you hear long pauses and things like that, that's me trying to get to your comments and stuff. Let's start with the preliminary sponsors. Please show some of our sponsors some love by checking out Rat Pack Sports Show, Rich Kid Money Bear, MoneyGram Insurance. Please check those guys out. If you want to know information, please get with us, and we'll get you as many information as you can with those. Other notable sponsors. Lids, St. Pete, Tyrone Square Mall. Contact Christopher Shaw at that store, 727-381-4820. That number again. And contact me is Christopher Shaw at Lids, St. Pete, Tyrone Square Mall, store 7002, 727-381-4820. Receive 10% off if you mention my name or Bucs Report, and you will receive 10% off your first purchase. Alpha Omega Contracting, the first and last name Constructions. Check them out at www.sunroomcontractor.com or dial 1-813-NEW-ROOF or 813-NEW-ROOM. If you mention Bucs Report or Buccaneer Blake or Blake, you will receive $250 off your service. And contact for that is Eric White. Make sure to check out all my other Bucs Report members. They work hard. They work really hard. I know I kind of took a step back with my schedule being like that. Tony, if you're watching, you can put me back on the rotation. You know, some of the articles and stuff, my schedule's kind of slowed down, so it's been a lot better. So I can get on there with that and take some of the load off other people. Or unless you want me to freelance and get pre-approval with you, we'll talk later about that because I'm sure you're watching. So let's go with the other member shows. Like I said, they work hard, man. They put out stuff all the time, whether people agree with it or not. They're not really making articles that they personally feel about stuff. They're making articles, and just on stuff that people want to talk about, and that really is just a discussion. It's not personally how they feel. With the shows start, we'll start from the top on down. Sundays, Midnight Madness with Bill Siebert. Tuesdays with Taco Tony. Tony's Take on 8:30 to 8. Tony's Take, Tampa Tony, and the Rambling Rossi Posse. Him and his wife, so cute with them too. She kind of like runs the show now. He kind of like acts like he runs the show, but she kind of runs the show now. That's also BritBucs from 1 to 1:30 p.m. That's on Tuesdays now. Wednesdays, Bill and Larry Show, weekly wrap-up at 8:30. Thursday, with me. It's granted, sometimes it flexes on my schedule because I work at night. So sometimes I have to move around. So I don't want you guys to think that I'm just not doing it. It's because I'm working. And that's every Thursday at between 7 and 8. Saturdays, Peter Blake in the Sports Web from 3 to 6. Also, he does the day after show, so the day after the game. So Sunday will be a Monday, and Monday will be a Tuesday, and Thursday will be a Friday, depending on when the game is. Also, and that's at 9 p.m. the day after show. November 10th, Peter Blake's Sports Web will be at Fergs. So please pay attention to his schedule and what he's got going on. Peter Blake, Sweet Pete. It's good peoples. Today's topics, we're going to go through Bucs versus Bengals recap. What did we learn? 2, do we wait for Winston or do we pass? 3, the trade deadline passes and we stand around, good or bad. 4, one of my things I'll keep doing is a Madden 19 prediction. Who wins, who lost. 5, keys to victory versus the Panthers, and X and O football talk. And that's what I want to do. NFL game today. That's up to you guys if you want to do it. Now, if you guys want me to do it, I'll do it. I know a lot of people aren't into the X's and O's. They're just here for the talk. And if you want to do it, I'll do it. I told you to hydrate. You talking. So I'm going to put the discussion up, and then I'm going to go through some of you guys' comments. Like I said, I don't want you to feel I'm ignoring you. Oh, my honey. Crystal, Miss Williams, the celebrity, is here, the one and only. All right, Keith, I'm going to get to you. I see you up there. I'm going to start from the top. Anar, what's going on? Tony, what up? BC in the house. Steven Tukey, what you know about Tukey Williams? Bucs fan from Houston. Hey, I was in H-Town a couple years ago when Bucs lost to the Texans because Murray couldn't kick any field goals. Vegas in the building. You know I'm going to be out there when the Raiders go out there and the Bucs play them. Abdul, repping from Buffalo, New York. You should get some of the Florida weather. I'm not with cold anymore. We need a change. We'll get to that, the Bear. We'll get to that. Just make sure, just jump in there with the topic that you want to talk about. Key Larson League. Are we going at it? Seriously, everyone in Tampa needs to get down to Lid. Okay, I got you. Yeah, Lids will take care of you. Listen to him. He knows what he's talking about. Yep. Tell him, Keith, the show will be down November 10th down there for Sports Web. And Peter's been doing great things with that. Doing great things. So let's start with the top. Like I said, Bucs versus Bengals recap. What did we learn? Well, of course, she's from Tampa, Miss Williams. What did we learn in this game? Of course, we'll just start with the elephant in the room. Winston. I don't know. I guess he's not really ready, to be started. I really think that the suspension really hurt the continuity with the team and the trust with the team. And that's, like I said, that's something he's got to eat. Only time will pass. The only question is, how much time do you think you've got left? With a $20 million on the 5th year, unless they restructure that or make it incentive based or something like that. Like if he gets the suspension, he gets nothing. Things like that with Doug Martin with suspension on PED and stuff like that. So they can rework something else out. But I really thought benching him and Fitzpatrick coming in and him playing second wheel was a really good thing to humble the man and let him learn from something, because he did learn some things from Fitzpatrick, like running when nobody's looking at things like that. He just got to make better decision making. And Fitzpatrick learned some things from him, a way to evade the rush and break tackles and buy some time. So they're learning from each other, and I'm really like the relationship that those two got, and the continuity. And they're really not rooting against each other. They just it's the business, man. You can't get mad at somebody else for what a coaching decision is. And our coaches are so unpredictable. They're cluttered. It's just a lot of things that was learned in that game. I just remember in that game when the team was fired up, we're making a drive back, and Marvin Lewis is on the sideline. I don't know if you guys remember, they showed the still clip with Marvin Lewis, and then on the other shot, they showed Dirk Cutter. And Marvin Lewis was riling his players up, patting them on the back, hitting the pads, getting them fired up. And you see Cutter just sitting there staring at a playbook. And that's just what I mean. He wants to be a coordinator so bad. He wants to be a head coach, but he just wants to be a coordinator so bad. It's just cancerous to this team, because he is not a leader or motivator at all. Like his locker room speeches just are just unmovable. It's like sometimes he doesn't believe in the own things he said, and players and people can read through that. So you said Keith says he's 24, start and let him sit. And Keith, I've said this several times in posts. I think you've liked the message and all that. I said Winston reminds me of Alex Smith back in the day. When he threw a lot of picks, he thought throwing the ball away or taking a sack was a sign of defeat. And those are things Winston's thinking as well. Like, you don't have to make every play. There's not always a play to be made. Sometimes you got to live to fight another day and keep the ball in our hands to move on to another drive or another possession. Because a lot of those turnovers are like on first and second down. You just don't need to force it. And that's what I think Alex Smith learned that later on in the career. And hopefully that was us, just like the Niners. Alex Smith, unfortunately for the Niners, Alex Smith figured that out later on in the career, and he got injured. Then Kaepernick came in, and then they rolled with Kaepernick to the Super Bowl. Then slowly that fall fell apart. Here out, Kaepernick's out of the league, and Alex Smith is still playing, leading the Washington Redskins, with a decent record right now, 5-2 or something right now. Tony's saying, I was reading pre-draft for a while on Wilson, and a bulk of the red flags on him were still hindering him to this day. Yeah, he's still young. Like, he should have never been the man to take over this roster, 20 years old to begin with. But that as it may, it's just that's just what it is. Fitzpatrick should never came out of the Bears game. No, he should have just taken that beating. It was his to take. Winston has all the talent in the world, but he can't learn from his mistakes. I just keep waiting for it to click. Just when is it going to click, Tony? I don't know. Roy's in Central California. Carly, you watched the Peter show too? Yeah, Peter got some good stuff on there. He always have somebody on there doing his thing. Buckaholics will be at Fergs November 10th as well. That's all right. I'll make sure I didn't miss anybody's comments. But yeah, there's a lot of things. Peyton Barber slowly coming around. It was sad Ronald Jones went down because I think the game was slowing down for him. Deshaun Jackson still acting like a baby, even though Winston was able to find him deep for a touchdown. But we'll see how it goes, because Deshaun Jackson is just a one-dimensional receiver. He's not going up to get a ball. If he doesn't have the coverage, if he sees a safety over top of him, he's not going to run his route. He's going to jog that route, and there's no outlet for him. He's going to do bare minimum if there's coverage over top of him. He's not going to try to find a way to get open if Fitzpatrick's under pressure. The only thing he's going to do is run deep. It's just kind of piss poor attitude I don't like about having him on this roster. I'm a big Winston fan. I want him to succeed, but after 3.53, it seems to be regressing. I think the team regresses a lot, like Cameron Brate said, and we get around this 500 era, and somehow we get complacent and start taking steps backwards. You talking about Keith's been saying that? Yeah, if the coverage isn't what he wants, Keith, he's going to take the play off. And everybody's like, and what's sad is the Winston was the only one vouching for him when everybody else, including all these fans that are probably keep saying can't get the ball to Jackson deep, wanted him gone and wanted him traded. So why is Fitz scoring with him and Winston can't hit him for crap? Fitzpatrick did hit him. Patrick there are plays that Winston did. Fitzpatrick did hit him, but I'm saying there's plays in the game that he takes the plays off. I said, your eyes are fixed on the ball because that's where the TV is. I watch a lot of film. You'll see what I watch. I watch the coach's film. And he takes plays off when he sees the coverage is not in his favor. Like Larry Fitzgerald and other star receivers that work their way to find a way open in that coverage. And hopefully your quarterback, when he's under arrest, can find and get open. He won't do anything. He'll run the half jog the route and sit to the sideline and wait for the ball. He's one-dimensional. If it's not deep, it's nothing. I mean, granted, we call it, a reverse or something like that, but he does his thing. I guess that's just what Deshaun Jackson is. And it's just, I don't know. It's just a negativity attitude that I don't think is good for this team, for the Deshaun team. When you think a man at his age would want to show, better leadership than to show like that's what you want to teach Chris Godwin to do when there's coverage and the coverage not in his favor. So, yeah. I mean, you're not going to get me arguing anything on Winston in that topic. Says he played bad, and mention him, I can't argue with it. So I mean, I just hope Fitzpatrick is everything everybody says he is. Like I said, Fitzpatrick does real well when there's no expectations. Now there's expectations again, so we'll see what happens. You're not going to hear argument out of me about it. And a lot of everybody's still riding on the Fitzpatrick thing for the week 1 and week 2, but don't forget week 3 and week 4. Where was Deshaun Jackson at against the Bears? Where was Deshaun Jackson at against the Steelers? Nowhere to be found. And when it's not in his favor, he disappears. Winston has all the wrong things happening at the worst possible time. Fitz is magic now, but beware when he comes. Fitz tragic. That's just happened. There's a reason why Fitz has been one season. Yeah, for 14 years in the league, one winning season in his career. But whatever. It is now. So here's the age-old question right here. Do we wait for Winston or do we pass? Before I answer this question, he's 24. And I just think about all the guys we let go that moved on and won Super Bowls. Vinny didn't win. Vinny was successful later on. Steve Young, should have never let that go. Steve Young, Doug Williams, Trent Dilfer. We went and got Brad Johnson. Just things like that we couldn't wait on. But I know everybody keeps saying 4 seasons. He was 20 when he got here. Like some people are drafted, they're at 20. But Winston had a lot of success early in his career. I think he got a lot of a real chance to learn, how to play quarterback better. And his decision making isn't always there. Winston wants to, and that's kind of the thing Deshaun was just trying to tell him: just be yourself. You want to be this franchise player, this guy in the community, but first you got to be Jameis. You got to be Jameis first before you can be all these other people. And I think you got too many people living inside you trying to be too many things at one time. And just like Fitzpatrick is content, he's a father, and then he's a football player on the field here to help people. When you just live by that and play by the moment, it's a lot easier and a lot of load off your shoulders because you can just play and let all your other guys, produce, I know a lot of people keep saying the money is one thing. It's just what it is. It's entertainment. We pay for entertainment. We pay athletes and players more money than we do the most educated people in this world. Doctors, scientists, people who make actually epic changes in this world. And that's just what it is. The entertainment is clearly more important than those things because they make more money doing it. You idolize actors and athletes more than you idolize doctors and people who are saving people's lives from cancer. And that's just because they're not on the television. That's just where we are in the country, and then that's why athletes get paid the way they pay. But I mean, that's just the career choice that they chose. It doesn't mean that they're not susceptible to, miss cues and can't figure things out faster than the others. It's just people, period. That's what makes us unique. And, I've always been a Winston supporter only because I just don't want to see the same cycle happen here. We keep moving on from quarterbacks. I was supportive of bringing Dirk Cutter back and keeping continuity with this team, but you fired Lovie Smith because you thought Dirk Cutter was the Winston whisperer, and yet Dirk and he having the same issues over regressing. So are you kind of sad that you didn't move on from Cutter and kept Lovie Smith? Because in my eyes, Lovie Smith, he had 2 booty rosters in 2 years. You can say all you want about not winning, but look at that roster those first 2 years. He said it was a 3-year project. In the 3rd year, we went 9-7, but we gave all the praise to Dirk. But and all Dirk wants to be as offensive coordinator, but yet their offensive coordinator now, Monken, is a better play caller than you. So what exactly is your purpose on this team? It surely isn't a head coach, because you've shown several times that you don't want to be a head coach. You want to be an offensive coordinator. It shows. You're staring at the playbook instead of getting your players behind and holding them accountable for not making plays or not being where they're supposed to be. If Dirk Cutter's gone, I want Greg Williams here. Greg Williams knows how to be in a franchise that's successful. When he was in there in New Orleans, when he got caught with the Donny Gate, he holds players responsible, and he's capable of getting your behind when you're not doing what you need to do. That's what we need here. We don't want stuff like that here for some reason. We want somebody that makes people happy and feel good inside. That ain't what we need here. We need an identity with this team. I know Cutter says we're a pass first team, but just in the offseason, you told us we was going to rush for 100 yards a game. Now we slowly went away from that game. You've neglected the run game. Now we finally addressed the pass game. Jason Pierre-Paul is a guy saying one hand or not, or fingers missing. That man is producing, and he's giving all he's got. And another player that's not getting a lot of shout out and took a whole lot of crap is Vita Vea. If you ain't watching, you're not watching the Bucs game clearly, because I don't know if you noticed, we putting a lot more pressure on the quarterback since Vita Vea became almost a full-time starter. The way he's pushing these guards back and these quarterbacks and these ends are getting these sacks. Who do you think's closing the pocket? Vita Vea. He's not going to get sacks because that ain't what he does. His job is disrupting, and I'll take that any day of the week over somebody who ain't disrupting but is considered a pass rusher. If there ain't no pocket to throw in, then the ends are going to get sacks. The quarterback can't step up to make a throw. And these are things that I don't know if everybody understands in the game, because you just want, I don't know, you just look at the defensive ends, or you just look at, I don't know what you're looking at. But I understand the game of football, and first and foremost, these tackles ain't supposed to be getting sacks to begin with. Your job is to disrupt, and that's exactly what he does, and he does it well. You can tell Buccaneers coached him well, because he doesn't try to arm tackle anybody. He will shove the guy in front of him back until he's on his back or running into the quarterback. I know it was kind of ramble on there, but I just wanted to, because a lot of people keep calling him sorry and all this stuff. The boy is putting in work. And it was another thing that we were talking about Winston, and I got into all that. So let me get back to the question, the original question. Do we pass on Winston? I don't think we passed. I think we reworked the contract and make it a favorable incentive play contract, and make it, if he gets suspended or has another off-field issue, then he'll be dealt with as accordingly. You make it in our favor and make it less in his favor. He doesn't want to deal with it. That's up to him. I think that's where we are right now. I think we hold the leverage at any type of contract situation. Trade deadline passes, and we stood our ground. Is that good or bad? I know we were talking about trading for Landon Collins, but the only thing I think the Giants would have brought anything with would have been James Winston. And I don't think you go do that. You kind of forfeit in the season if you do that. You go with Fitzpatrick and Ryan Griffin. I don't think the Bucs are ready to just go ahead and hang that fork up in Winston already, because, like I say, he's a great asset in the community and things like that. He just really needs to self-evaluate himself. He's doing a lot of therapy sessions. I know a lot of you guys don't know about that. I don't put a whole lot of these players' business out there because I know what that feels like. They already don't have a personal life, period. They can't do anything without being subjected to scrutiny. So, I don't put out a lot of information like that. But he's taking a lot of therapy and stuff like that. And then, like I said, it goes back. I think it's because he's trying to be all these people instead of just being one person. Now you're trying to be a father, a husband, franchise quarterback, everybody's buddy. Just be one man, and just everybody can live with it or they can't. Let me get back to these comments because I ain't really got into it. Stress is improved. Would help the running game. I'm a Jameis fan and a believer, period. And hey, go ahead, Charles. That's what I'm talking about. You think Kappa will be activated and playing? Hard to say because Benedict has been playing terrible. Vita is a beast. Thank you. Somebody has been paying attention. Like I said, look at the production since Vea has come in. Look at the pressure. Just look. Now you get Vea. Hopefully Vea and McCoy's playing. Plays Bell in the backfield. The situation with Bell is the money. People are not going to pay him that money. That's the situation. And we've got issues elsewhere that we can't just be throwing a running back over $20 million. Eric Strasburg was leading. Yeah, he's not a leader, Keith. He's shown that several times. So how long do you give him, Eric? I don't know. I think he maybe got 1 or 2 more years to figure it out. You sign volunteer incentive. That's what I say. You put it in. You put the contract in our favor. So if he does wrong stuff, he doesn't benefit financially. Period. He says here's the puzzle part. Bucs don't want to move on from him. If they did, they would have traded him. That's it. That said, it. I don't think he's worth $20 million. So what do they do? That's what we said. We signed him to an incentive-based contract. Past reason being his franchise not patient enough to groom guys. If Dirk can, the regime will send him packing eventually. Get out of here, Jay, with your dang bird gang stuff. All right, I got to everybody. Let me make sure I got to everybody. You said wait on Winston. That's what I think so too. I don't think I want to keep recycling the carousel of quarterbacks and we start this all over again. Every quarterback in college football looks good until you get them up with other grown men. You can look like men against boys, and then you go become a boy against men. Oh, my old coaches used to say, look like Tarzan, look like James. What you got, Charles? Bucs Nation will regret if Jameis leave. I promise we'll go somewhere and have a big success. I promise. And they'll probably get stuck somewhere where actually has a run game where you're going from throwing 52 passes. Let me correct this. You called 62 passes. The 10 of those are runs, but he threw 52 times, and those weren't even including sacks. So he was sacked 4 times. So he almost called 70 pass plays. So that goes down to 30 passes a game, 15 to 20 runs, and maybe the picks go down. But we don't know because we run the ball. Robert Horton in the house. What's going on, Big Rob? Let Kappa play. Yeah, Benedict ain't doing his thing, man. Might as well let Kappa play. Can't do much worse. I said both quarterbacks got to scramble for their life. They're playing. That's the thing about that Fitzpatrick can't do that Winston buys a lot of time juking and jiving. But one thing I wanted to say about the trade deadline was I don't know why everyone wants a safety. We spent 3 picks. Secondary, we spent 3 picks in secondary. Jordan Whitehead, MJ Stewart, and Carlton Davis, and they all play. Honestly, Justin Evans was played well. We're not getting beat deep. To be honest, your linebacker playing coverage is awful. I was talking to Crystal, and I was just like, that play to A.J. Green set up the field goal was all on Levante David. Levante David is staring in the backfield. And I told Crystal I was going to try to work on explaining things like this. All right. You're dropping back in coverage. Game's on the line. And if I'm back there, I played a little bit. I've played against some great players and stuff like that. You drop back, and I know who the best player is. It's A.J. Green. And if I'm on the left side playing linebacker, and I see A.J. Green lining up the slot on the left, I know that this ball is going to A.J. Green. I know it is. There's no other person that Andy Dalton's going to throw this ball in. This ball, there's nobody else he's going to trust this with running out with one timeout left, and you need to get in field goal range with time running out. He's running right at me. And so instead of riding that and let somebody else catch the ball underneath, you stare in the backfield and you let AJ Green run right past you, cut back inside where you're not looking, and catch the pass right over your shoulder for a 30, 25-yard gain and set us up in the field goal that set us up to lose. That's when the linebackers, and it's been like that a lot of times because they're getting beat because they're either staring at the quarterback. And we really don't need to do that because we really ain't been getting beat up too bad with quarterbacks running. And Andy Dalton ain't running. He's looking to throw that ball. And Andy Dalton came straight out and looked right at AJ. I know everybody keeps talking about the quarterback staring down receivers and stuff. Bro, I don't know if you ever played quarterback before, but you can't look off every pass. You actually have to see where coverage is going because the defenders got to cover men too because they got to play man coverage and stuff like that. So they're not all looking at you all the time. Now, there's plays where the safeties can sit back there and do that. And like Justin Bates was doing against Winston, like Winston could have got it a couple of times if you stared on purpose and then threw it right where he was because you were overcompensating so hard, and that's probably why Sean and Mike Evans were getting over top of them deep so much because he's just too busy trying to read people's eyes. But a lot of that comes from the linebackers going balls thrown in that little mid-range gap. That ain't the safeties. We ain't getting roasted deep. We're getting beat underneath unless it's in clear man coverage. Chris Conte's not back there no more, giving up deep balls, and that really ain't been an issue all season. So, get rid of 3. Hey, that's your opinion. I mean, just where do we go next? We can keep drafting, run the ball better, play action. You don't run the ball, the play action is not an option, Stevie. Conte lives matter. Yeah, Conte got faded away like Thanos did the Avengers. Benanak is increasingly becoming the least favorite player, even more than Conte. There's plays where he just stand there and watches his quarterback get sacked. Like I said, the camera angle sucks when you're watching the game because it only focuses on one people. That's why I advocate you guys with Game Pass. If you're a season pass holder, it's free. So take advantage of that because it's really helpful so you can see stuff and understand the game better because a lot of times you're catching stuff secondhand. All right. Charles, you putting up some good stuff today. Honestly, bro, since Lovey left, I don't think Jameis was even put in a position to succeed. Can't throw over 35 passes a game with no run game and a weak O-line, no defense. Come on now. And that's what people were talking about. Oh, well, Lovey was a defensive coach. He didn't work on the defense. No, he worked on the offense so we can put points up. And then worked on the defense, but yet we still are getting offensive players and still neglecting the defense, relying on free agency, old 30-year-old players, overpaying them, and then they're underperforming. So we continuously pass up on players that would help this roster insignificantly. We constantly pass up situations to help this franchise. You let John Lynch go to San Francisco to be a GM. Why couldn't he do that here? Why do you let that go? And I just think we set ourselves back over and over. And it's not always the players. It's just not always the coaches. It's from the top on down. And like I said, sometimes I was talking with Tony. I think that the Glazers, maybe this is a side project for them because Manchester United is the most wealthiest team in the world. What do they got to lose? All they do is put a couple decent rosters out here, sell a few tickets, and we can move on. Because it's when we hire these coaches, we're just recycling coaches. We get rid of Dirk. Who we gonna move on to? Andy Reid ain't going nowhere because that's somebody I would want here in a heartbeat. Andy Reid ain't going nowhere. I don't know if you're gonna go get Hugh Jackson. I don't know what the Browns are gonna do with Greg Williams. I would want Greg Williams here in a heartbeat. And if it didn't work out, I'll eat what I said. But I think that's the kind of guy we need on this team. A defensive-minded coach. You get somebody like Marty Morningwig or somebody. I would like even Marty Morningwig. I don't know why he hasn't gotten a head coaching chance. Maybe he doesn't want to be. Maybe he'll just be an offensive coordinator or get somebody in there that's been with a successful franchise and knows what it takes to move this team in the right direction. Listening from Birmingham, Alabama. My people's in Montgomery area. The teams that run the ball 25 games, winning record, yeah, it's successful. You running the ball, it takes a lot of stress off your quarterback. Play action opens up. Top 4 best head coaches out there for Bucs next season. I mean, Josh McDaniels is not going anywhere. I don't even know why you put that up there, Corey. He turned down the Colts' head coaching job to stay in New England. Harbaugh, if he gets fired as a Raven, I would think about that. Jack Del Rio, I don't know if he give another head coaching job, but Vince, the safeties, like I said, they're not getting beat. Keith, like a lot of people ain't noticing that. Like you keep talking about Quan, but these boys are getting beat up in the pass department. You don't trade him, son, no incentive base. Yeah, I said the same thing. Yeah, I said the same thing. Keith, 70 called pass plays. Yeah, 70 called pass plays. Where's the run? One-sided as hell. I'm just reading you guys, like I told you. For what it's worth, I'd like to see a time with this much talent to do something big. I agree, Jay. I agree. I definitely agree. I thought the cushion zone was the main deficiency. How is everyone not in love with Fitz behind center? How is Jameis better? I'm in love with whoever's there. I'm just talking about longevity reasons, shuffling quarterbacks and stuff and being inconsistent and stuff like that. Jesse, why would y'all want to get rid of Winston? I don't think, like I said, we all talked about that earlier, Terrace. He has all the weapons, so I agree. Ms. Williams, I agree with Fitzarton too. Winston didn't play good enough to be playing anymore. You're not going to hear an argument out of me about that. The thing about Winston is the turnover or something new. He's been doing that since college. Sorry. He's hard to tackle, I'll give him that, but man, the biggest problem is him, not the coaches. I think it's a little bit of both, but a lot of him. Fitzpatrick brings energy to the team. And I agree, Eric, there's a lot of energy when Fitzpatrick comes in. And like I said, I think it's the people that can see that you're not you're not trying to be 3 different people. You're just trying to be one man, trying to lead a team down the field. It's really that simple. I'm here calling plays, and I'm going to get the ball to you, and we're going to move the ball down the field. That's pretty much it. You're right. Fitz is fine now. Fitz bring energy to the team. You're so right. Was kind of leaning. You were so right. I was kind of leaning, but I got you. Well, I'm not sure what you're talking. If you're talking to me, Billy, I'm not sure what you're talking about. So what you're talking about. Having an all-pro running back is hard to come by, but dear Lord, to say Winston hasn't been set up to succeed is laughable. Yeah, I can't agree with all that. In some parts, too, I kind of get where he's coming from. But, yeah, playoff teams have good defense and can run the ball, absolutely. You have to have a pass rush, or you have to have a good run game, one or the other. Ozzie Newsom for President of Football Operations, Homer for GM, Harbaugh for OC, Venables for D. Yep. I agree, and that looks like a successful thing. But again, how are you going to get those guys away from there? How are you going to get them to come to somebody like this that's wearing always in a tailspin and have no identity or think about what we're going to do next? We have I go to the gym every day. I wear a Buccaneer hat. This guy comes up to me, and he's a Philly fan. And I've never talked to this man at the end of life, but I swear it sounds like he heard me talking before. And he says the biggest problem with your team isn't the quarterback situation. Is all that. He said because you have no identity. You have no identity who y'all are. And I was like, have I met you before? It sounded like you would listen to everything I'm going to say. They have no identity. And they go back to we just keep shuffling coaches and fans. And it's like I said, I've said this before many times on shows. It's not your fault. Our franchise has misled you to believe that the key to success in Tampa Bay is to shuffle quarterbacks and shuffle head coaches. I'll apologize for them, but I'm here to tell you that ain't how you be successful in this league. We will be the Cleveland Browns if we keep on doing that. We will always be that. We will be at the bottom of this division because everybody in our division has a franchise quarterback. They have an identity. When you say the Panthers, Saints, Falcons, you know exactly what you're getting when you play them. When you say the Buccaneers, what are you going to say? We're inconsistent? They're going to run the ball on us. They're going to play hard defense. That pass rush. What are you going to say about us? Seriously. I'm not. And answer that question not as a fan. Answer that just as a person talking about football. What are you going to say about us? We spend money in free agency. The issue before was the Glazers don't spend money. Now they spend money and we still trash. And let me take that back. I'm not calling it. We're one game under 500. This game is crucial. We need to get back to 500. And it's going to take a division win to do it. We've got blessed. We should have beat the Bengals. We had a couple favorable wins that we could have gotten, but we blew those opportunities because that's what we're consistently good at doing, is blowing opportunities. So, like this, Chris, you're saying offense, that's all we have. So what are you going to say? They're going to put up yards. But that's it. That's what you're going to say about us. And that's what I mean. We have no identity. We don't know what we are. Our quarterback doesn't know what we are. Fitzpatrick does. Winston doesn't know what he is. He's trying to be three people. Need to be one person. You're right. And you know, I wish football was that simple for people, Chris. Just need to execute. And that's why you need a real head coach to hold people accountable for that. I respect Bill Belichick. He said people complain about not having fun. He said, don't you have fun winning? He said, so I'm here about you doing your job and doing what you're supposed to do so we can win, so you can have fun. But it's the business. So what are you here to do? Make buddies or win games? Play around, waste y'all money coming out to the games, waste y'all time watching TV. So we're here to do, make buddies. What up, Pete? Sweet Pete in the building. I told everybody about your show, Pete. You want to put that up there again? That's fine. You know, you got stuff going on in November. So we need a president. I'd like to see Dirk stay for consistency's sake, but we have to prove that he can put a winning team on the field. I'm with you on that. About consistency's sake, but this man ain't fit to head coach a team. He wants to be a coordinator. He wants to be a head coach that's a coordinator. That ain't what Tampa Bay needs. So if you're going to put somebody in there, if he wants to call plays, then you get an offensive coordinator that's a head coach or whatever the case may be, and you let him ride. What's going on, Chris? I've never seen you before, but we're going to check you out. Chris, Bucs are not done with Winston. It's Cutter who's done with Winston. Remember, this is the same Cutter who didn't want Jameis in the beginning. Fact. He even said that openly, that he would have drafted Mariota. But let me continue. Cutter and Light know that the seat just got higher with the loss in Cincy. If the Bucs lose on Sunday, don't be surprised if Cutter is fired and Light is gone after the season. Fitz starts the rest of the season, and the Bucs will reevaluate Winston's circumstances after the season. Remember, the Bucs invested pre-draft a lot of resources to get him here in Tampa. Well said, Chris. Well said. And like I said before, I don't know if you saw the show earlier, Cutter was supposed to be the Winston whisperer, but now you're done with Winston. Huh. It sounds like you said anything just to get the job here so Levy would get out. Those are answers I'll never have. I just know what I'm left with. I'm left with a guy who's not ready to be a head coach. He just wants to be an off-court offensive coordinator. I'm left with a guy a man that's never called a NFL game. And Todd Monken calls better games than you do. But you're an offensive guru, I thought. But a man that's never called a game, called two beautiful games, better than you have in 2 years. Huh. It's a Bucs lock. Inconsistent. At being inconsistent. Chris, shoot the page message when you have a moment. Yeah, Chris, that's what's up, man. That's the stuff I like to see right there. We'll chat later. Let's move on. Boy, y'all get me fired up today. Madden 19 predictions. Now, you know, that's one of my things I do, Madden 19 predictions. I always do a thing. I let the computer play it out as rosters as it is today. The Bucs lose the Panthers 20-15. Fitzpatrick goes for the 2-point good conversion to make the game 17-20. We do not get it. Kick the onside kick. Do not get it. Panthers get down to a third down, and we call timeouts to stop them on third down. Was the boy the running back, and Christian McCaffrey catches a 7-yard pass for a first down, pretty much seals the game. The win, and we lose in Carolina 20-15. That's Madden 19 predictions for you, coming from EA Sports. And that's going to be a lot of it with these linebackers. being real inexperienced. Hopefully Beckwith's ready to play, but they're going to have to be ready to cover Christian McCaffrey. Coming out the back, we've struggled to cover backs out the backfield. They tore us up in Chicago, and don't think the Panthers going to be doing the same thing and using their little joker position. What was that boy's name? I got a tip of my tongue out of Ohio State. They drafted in the second round or something like that. He's going to be doing a lot of little short catches as a back and receiver and stuff like that. They're going to take a lot of advantage of us with our inexperience at linebackers. That's your prediction, Keith? Bucs in a squeaker, 23-16. It's going to be a low-scoring game. Panthers going to bring some pass rush, and hopefully Fitzpatrick picks up some moves in Winston and checking pressure, because this line is going to look back at you when it comes to pass blocking some plays, even on run plays. We get called for holding plays because our offensive linemen are pass blocking. By not improving the worst part of our team, the secondary, by trades before the down, if we do not have a ringing record by playoff where Jason Knight will be fired. I haven't got to that yet, Miss Harley Quinzel. That is the last thing on it. Keys to victory versus the Panthers. Do I need to say pass rush again? I don't think I need to say that anymore. In a passing league, I think pass rushing is key to any victory against anybody. So I'm not going to say that. What I'm going to say is I would like to see a lot more runs in this game. Short passes to the backs, simulating runs, take pressure off of Fitzpatrick, not making him throw 50 times a game. Offensive line is going to hold because they get beat a lot. And they're going to stick Fitzpatrick in third and longs and second and longs, and the pass rush is going to come at us. We've got to call the right plays to slow that down. Screen passes to the wide receivers or backs. Look at mismatches. If you got three wide receivers and only a linebacker in a corner on your side, you probably need to go a screen on that side because the numbers are in your favor. It's 3 versus 2. And it's easy football like that. It's just like Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers. They all make these split time decisions. Peyton Manning, when he did it, you just look at the numbers. It's 3 versus 2. 2 of them block and one guy catches the pass and is the run. All you do is block and don't hold. And we don't make those simple kind of plays like that. Send the back out in the gap. If the linebacker is going to jump out and outs or the curls, you throw it to the back. And if they jump on the back coming out the backfield, then you throw that routes and the curls. It's really simple. Football's really not that hard. It's all about the amount of pass rush and the different coverages. You're going to get plays where they're going to be covered really well. And you're going to have to ad-lib a little bit. And hopefully guys can break off the routes and help you out. But football really isn't that difficult. And that's going to be the things the Panthers are going to do to us with the running backs at the backfield. I just think we need to start taking pages out of other people's playbooks and stop letting us be the victim of it and let us start being the predator out of it. You know what I mean? Let us be the hunter instead of the hunted type of mentality. I think we like to catch games a lot instead of, put foot on the throat like we did a lot in the Eagles game. But, in the Eagles game, we got complacent because we can't run the ball. And when everybody knows we need to run the ball, we can't run the ball because, like I said previously, our offensive line is used to pass block, and they pass block on a run play. They're not driving anybody downfield. We catch the block, the initial point of contact. That is it. You don't believe me? Just watch the game. Peter, what you got going on? Blake has the X's and O's that all you crave. Like I said, if you guys want me to put the X's and O's up there, then let me know. Let me get you showed up there. Put yes or no, because I know a lot of people don't like the X's and O's. Watching game tape real quick. So it's up to you. What do you think? Well, we haven't got the X and O's yet. The Panthers, it's going to be like running the ball, making taking pressure off Fitzpatrick and stuff like that, and limiting the Panthers to big plays because Cam's going to run. Cam will take his eyes down and take off and buy time. Cover Greg Olsen as Greg Olsen's back. That's one of his favorite weapons. And that's pretty much what the Panthers are going to boil down. They're going to run the ball, and that's something we're going to have to stop. And so, I mean, I know we was talking about Cutter being, moving on from Cutter and Light and all those things like that. Like I said, who should we bring in? Should we move them out? Oh, you got some swag for me if I can come. All right, I have to look at that. Get up with me about that. So, what do you guys think about that? Should Cutter be fired? Should he? All right. Let's move on to X's and O's football talk. X's and O's. X's and O's here, and defensive minded coach with the young OC. I agree, Travis. I agree. That's what I'm saying. Stop the run, spiral cam, establish the run, screen game, work on play action off the run. Yep. You gotta actually run the ball. Fitzpatrick better than Brad Johnson? Possibly. Very, very possibly. But Brad Johnson, they pointed out Brad Johnson. Brad Johnson's the opposite of Fitzpatrick. Brad Johnson has won with every team he's been with. He's been a winner. I think he has finished with a winning record. Fitzpatrick hasn't had winning season in thinking 10 seasons or 9 seasons or something like that. Tony pointed that out several times. So they're kind of the opposite. So let's get to this. Let me share this tab. I'm going to share the tab. And we are going to check out the Panthers game. Here we go. Obviously, I don't want you guys to watch kickoff. Let's look at what the Panthers are going to do on a 3rd and long situation. Oh, Ravens scored on their first possession. Remember I told you that the name I was looking for was Samuel. What they're going to do with Samuel. Curtis Samuel. And this is the stuff they're going to do with Samuel. They're going to line Samuel up and throw a little stuff on her because you see that's why Samuel will beat people in one-on-one situations. We'll see that again. Christian McCaffrey sidecar right. Where's Greg Olsen at the slot spot? Cam looks right at him, beats the first dude very easily. Would have beaten the second if help wasn't there. Panthers trips with the running back in the back. One-on-one with this slow linebacker. I'd either hand it off or I would have taken my chances one-on-one with Christian McCaffrey on pass route against that linebacker. There's no way he's catching him. First and 10. Here we go again. Greg Olsen turns into trips. Sidecar left. It's a blitz. Cam wants to run. And then it's sacked. If I was in that situation, I would have sent McCaffrey out for a pass, forcing Terrell Suggs to cover Christian McCaffrey in one-on-one situation. I would have done that 9 times out of 10 because that's the only person over there left to cover him. But maybe that's something they do next week if they get something, a matchup like that. This is just small stuff that they're going to do. I'm going to show you just a couple plays with them on defense. What Dom Terry Poe and them look like. This is third and 17. Remember I told you about them? You gotta stay out of these third and longs. You gotta stay out of these third and longs. Third and 17. This will probably be up to the situation in the game because we're gonna get called for holding. Joe Flacco's under major pressure. And throws a pick. Let's see what happened again. They're only sending 4. Look at that. That's 4 men. That's a throw James Winston would make. Trying to force something that's not there. Hey, you know what? Like I said, I'm not gonna harp long on game tape. But that's just the film room. Be the mass protect and attack their secondary because their front 7 is tough on D. And all they need is pressure with 4. That's really all they need to get at it is rushing 4. And with our line the way it is, it's gonna be a long day. I think I pretty much covered a lot of everything. Like again, as always, I appreciate you guys coming and checking out my shows every Thursday, Saturdays, or whenever I can get in. I always love doing it. As a throw fish would throw too. Man, I don't think he would force stuff like that. But as always, I appreciate everything you got to do, checking me out, showing love and everything. And win as you always do. You're the master of everything. What you do with your life, what you do, it is entirely up to you. Thank you guys. God bless. See you next Thursday. If not, I'll see an update. And check me out on my website at www.BUCnBLAKESPORTS.com. Everybody's there. Each month I do a giveaway by everybody that subscribes to the website. It's free. So basically you get stuff for free for just joining. So it's up to you. All right, guys, take it easy. Check out Bucs Report and go Bucs.